Welcome back, guys. So we are starting with the lead code problems, and today we'll be attempting valid Sudoku. Okay, and this I'll be given a 9x9 Sudoku board, and my job is to return a bool value that states whether that Sudoku board is valid or not. Okay, so as for those who don't know what a Sudoku board is, in this you try to actually fill that complete Sudoku board in such a way that every element is uniquely identifiable in that row, in that column, or in that particular sub box, which means that in that particular row or in that particular column there is only one occurrence of an element. So by the way, what is a block? Basically, if you take a closer look of this 9x9 Sudoku board, you'll see uh, nine 3x3 structures, right? Nine 3x3 matrices. So I'm just calling them as the blocks. Okay, so this is a valid Sudoku board, and if you just take a look at this, then you'll see that okay, there is no there is unique occurrence of each element in their row, their respective row, column, and blocks. Okay, so I'll just show you an example which is not valid. Here you see this 8 and this 8. They are not, they are definitely unique in their row, in their sorry, yeah, in their row and in their blocks, but they are not unique in their columns, right? Because uh, basically you see that they are actually, there is two occurrence of 8 in that column. So this is our job, and we just have to return a bool value whether it's valid or not. So what I'll be doing is I'll take I'll take an element, okay, and I'll take an element and I'll check that is that the first occurrence of that element in that row, in that column, or in that subblock. Okay, so how will I do that? For that, I'll just simply use sets. Okay, sets for row, column, and blocks. So by the way, suppose let's just for an example say that I give you I'm talking about a valid Sudoku. For a valid Sudoku, suppose I give you a row number and I give you the value of that element and I ask you to return me the position. Can you do that? Well, if that is a valid Sudoku, yes, you can easily, right? Because if I say that, okay, let's take row 0 for an example, and the value of the element is 5, can you return me its position? Then you go to row 0 and you simply see that, okay, there's only one occurrence of 5, then you can easily return me the position of that 5, right? But if there were two occurrence of 5, then you will say there will be an ambiguity, right? You'll get confused of which value to return. So what I'll do is I'll actually create, let's say, three sets, row, call, and let's say block. Sorry, block. I'll just create them as a set. If you are some other language user, we have similar data structures in all the language. For C, I think there's an ordered set, right? So what I'll do is I'll create keys. What is a key? Key is a value with the help of which you can uniquely identify that element in that particular pseudo block. Okay, so how do you create a key? Very simple. As I just gave you an example, if I give you the row value and let's say the element, then can you uniquely identify that element? Can you actually return me the position of that of that element? Yes, you can, right? So that is a key. Simple. Similarly for column and similarly for block. If I give you the block number, okay, and if I give you a block number and I give you the element, and that is a valid Sudoku, you can easily return me the position, right? But if for that same block number there's another occurrence of that number, right? If uh, there's only two possibilities for a number, either that number is already present in a set or not. If that number is already present in set, then I'll say that okay, this is not a valid Sudoku. But otherwise, if that number is not present in the set, then I just add that element in my set. So let's start for I in the range of 9, because this is always going to be a 9x9 Sudoku board, right? For I in range of 9, for j in range of 9. Sorry, what by the way, how have they, they have marked the vacant spaces. They have marked it by dots, and these dots are pretty much useless for us. So I'll say that if both I and j is not equal to dot, only then move forward, right? So now let's start creating my key. So what will be my R key? What will my row key? My row key will consist of two values. First value, it will be the row. Second value, it will be the value of that particular element. So with the help of this, I can identify that particular element. Similarly, I do for of that column key. So we have j and we have, let's say, board I and j, right? And now I need to create a board key. So for board, the thing will be a little bit different. A board depends on both the rows and columns, right? And what I'm trying to do is I'll actually mark this board as 0 0 0. This will be 0 1. This will be what 0 2, and this will be 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. How do you do that? Simple. Whatever may be the the coordinates of that particular element. let's say that the coordinates currently are I and j, right? So do a floor division with 3 and do a floor division with 3, you'll get the value of that board. So let's say the maximum element, the maximum, the maximum coordinates that let's say the first board, the first block can have, what will that be? It will be 2 cross 2 or 2 comma 2, right? And do a floor division with 3, the value that you will get is 0 point something something. But since I'm doing a floor division, I'll just eradicate that decimal, that the values that comes after a point. So the indexes that I have now are 0 0 0, right? So yeah, we are simple with that. So similarly, I'll just do that for every element and I'll get a unique value for board key. Okay. So B key, this, and again I need the, sorry, again I need that the value, because value is a must. So yeah, now let's start to, check that if let's say if that R key, sorry, give me a second. Okay. If that R key is already present in row, which means that for this particular row, this value has already been presented, or this should not only be the case for a row, but it can also be a case for what, for the columns also, or for the board also, right? It doesn't matter much for B key and let's say board, right? If that is the case, then what I'll do is, if that is the case, I'll just return false. That means that there's another occurrence for an element and that is not a valid Sudoku board. Okay, so I'll return false. Otherwise, what I'll do is, since every time I encounter the element for the first time, I do need to insert them in my row, right? So row at R key call dot add, let's say C key, and board dot add B key. This means that okay, I have accessed it now once. I have accessed it for the first time, so that's great. That's cool. But if you try to access that element again with the same key in that row or board or column, it will simply say that yeah, that we have already been here and this is wrong. This is not a valid Sudoku board. But somehow if I pass if I pass through all the elements, then I can return true, that will state that okay, this is a valid Sudoku board. So now let's try to run this code. Yeah, so we have an error, uh, board dot add b key. Yeah, sorry for that, this is block, and this should also be block. Yeah, it was accepted, and now let's try to submit this. Yeah, so it works perfectly, and this was a solution for this valid Sudoku problem. And yeah, okay, I can't submit again very fast. So yeah, so runtime actually changes once it's 100 ms, then in 96 ms. Yes, okay, that's not an issue, but yeah, we are faster than 90.80 Python submissions, and that's great. So yeah, this was us, basically the code for valid Sudoku, and I hope you enjoyed it.